goals, how those goals are interlinked with agricultural sector, then sustainable agriculture, then some characteristics of sustainable agriculture, and next is related to some non-sustainable issues related to agriculture, then the current status of agriculture in the Indian economy, and how that status has been achieved by us, say, in the 75 more than 75 years, and how those achievements has resulted in unsustainable or non-sustainable issues, and how those non-sustainable issues can be tackled with the practices, that is what we call as SAB, sustainable agricultural practices, and some government policies related to sustainable agriculture. So this is what my presentation on this session. Okay. See, first of all, we all know regarding the concept of sustainable development. That is, in the year 1987, United Nations World Commission on Environment and Development, they have issued a report known as our Brundtland Report, where the name of the Brundtland Report is Our Common Future. In this report, they introduced the concept of sustainable development. This is what the concept that we are discussing from 90s, 90s, 2010, 20, even today and in future also. That is, development, economic development has resulted in increase in GDP, but on the other side, which has resulted in reckless destruction of the resources. And we have concentrated only on the needs of the present without considering the needs of the future generation. In this context, sustainable development is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. This is what commonly defined definition. That means we have to take into consideration the needs of the present as well as the future by considering the available resources. The chief goals of sustainable development. One is development that minimizes environmental problems. In the environmental economics, the initial chapter deals with the production. Any production means on the one side we say increase in goods and services, on the other side we say it is pollution. That is what environmental economics. In environmental economics, we say production means it leads to pollution. So here, in the name of development, we are producing lot of goods and services, which has resulted in arising of various environmental issues. Here we aim at reducing those environmental issues while producing goods and services. And one more is to meet the needs of the existing generation. Meeting the needs of the existing generation by considering the quality of the environment and for future generation. These are all the common goals of sustainable development. Question is whether sustainable development can be achieved. Means definitely, because at the global level, almost all the countries are struggling for achieving sustainable development goals. So how it can be achieved means, first it can be achieved by restricting human activities. That means by undertaking human activities which should reduce the environmental issues. And second one is technology, by using input effective technology, not input utilizing technology. When we use the technology means best technology, input effective technology we have to employ. And one more way of achieving sustainable development is rate of consumption should not surpass the rate of salvation. That means consumption should not exceed the savings of the resources. And in the case of renewable resources, we are having both renewable and non-renewable resources. In the case of renewable resources, what is happening is we are utilizing the renewable resources at a faster rate than the regenerative capacity. And also we are utilizing the renewable resources at a faster rate than the regenerative capacity plus the rate of production of other renewable substitute. That is one more issue. And one more is all types of pollution should be minimized. That is by nowadays we are having we are living with environmental pollution only. Air is polluted, water is polluted. Even we come across the food that we are consuming is adulterated, or even it is what we call as contaminated with pesticide residue. It is because of soil degradation. So these are all to be minimized, and sustainable development can be achieved by sensible, by effective, by optimizing optimal use of the natural resources. So this is what how we can achieve sustainable development. And we know that 2030 agenda for sustainable development. 2030 agenda for sustainable development, where it was accepted by all the member nation in 2015 with an intention. This is called as a blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet at present as well as in the future. So this 2030 agenda for sustainable development having 17 sustainable development goals. So that has to be achieved by almost all the developing and developing countries of the world by global partnership. That is what the 2030 agenda for sustainable development, which includes 17 sustainable development goals. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals. That is, first one is related to zero poverty or no poverty. Second one is related to zero hunger. Third one is related to good health and well-being. Fourth is quality education. Fifth is gender equality. Sixth is clean water and sanitation. Seventh one is affordable and clean energy. Eighth one is decent work and economic growth. Ninth one is industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10th one is reduced inequalities. 11th one is sustainable cities and communities. 12th is responsible consumption and production. Climate action is 13th. Life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institution. And last one is partnership for the goals. See, in these 17 goals, what are the goals which are directly or indirectly related to agricultural sector? Can anyone say regarding the goals which are related to agricultural sector, where which is also linked to non-sustainable issues? See, first goal, that is poverty. Poverty is related to agriculture. Even zero hunger, that is also related to agricultural sector. Good health, that is also related to agricultural sector. And regarding clean water, that is also related to agricultural sector. Even affordable and clean energy, decent work, that is also related to agriculture. And 10th one, reduced inequalities. Then about 12th one, responsible consumption and production. Then climate action, life below water, life on land. These are all the key sustainable goals which are directly or indirectly linked to agricultural sector. Then coming to the concept of sustainable agriculture. See, nowadays whenever we talk about the concepts of economics, we make use of the term sustainability, sustainable agriculture, sustainable use of resources like this. So important aspect of sustainable is sustainable agriculture. So in agriculture, we say sustainable agriculture. This is what a debatable topic in the agricultural sector. So first, what is sustainable agriculture? Sustainable
ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ರೆ there is no nothing like ಇದರ ಕಲ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
dear participants, please mute your
ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಒಂದು ಫುಲ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್
Satish Mehta, please mute your phone.
Is more here. These three criteria now.
Sustainable agriculture is defined as a way of farming that can be carried out for generation to come, or where we have to follow the best methods of production with an intention of protecting Earth's resources, with an intention of protecting Earth's resources. That means where we have to produce the agricultural commodities by reducing environmental damages. And sustainable agriculture, in the long run, it leads to improvement in the environmental quality. See, the current practices of agriculture is not enhancing environmental quality. It is deteriorating the environmental quality. And second one is providing basic human food and fiber needs, or meeting the food and fiber needs of the population of the country. And third one is economically viable. Sustainable agriculture means where return should be more than the cost. Then it has to enhance the quality of life for farmers and society as a whole. It has to improve the income and standard of living of the farmers and even the consumers also. So that is what society as a whole. So this is how we define sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is a way of farming that can be carried out for long run generation to come, where we have to follow the practices that should minimize the environmental damages, or by considering the earth's resources, where it has to concentrate on improving the environmental quality and ensuring basic food and fiber for the population, and it should be economically viable, and it has to improve the quality of the life of the farmers and society as a whole. Even some other definition which concentrates on sustainable agriculture is the production of high quality of food and other agricultural production. High quality means producing nutritious food, and other agricultural production in the long run by considering renewable as well as non-renewable resources, and also by considering the socio-economic environment in the country. So this is how in other way we can define sustainable agriculture is the production of high quality of food and other agricultural production in the long run by considering the socio-economic structure of the country, and also by maintaining the renewable as well as non-renewable resources. What about the goals of sustainable agriculture? Sustainable agriculture goals, important goals are: farmers' income should be sufficient to provide a fair standard of living in the agriculture community, where income of the farmer should be increased to maintain a decent standard of living. Then farmers should practice production methods which do not threaten or harm human life, animals' life, and which also degrade the environment. That is one more goal. And at the same time, it has to minimize environmental problems. So these are all the goals of sustainable agriculture, where income of the farmer should be increased to lead a decent standard of living, and the practice followed by the farmer should not harm human's life, animals' life, and it should not degrade the environment. And at the same time, it has to minimize our environmental problems. Some features of sustainable agriculture. Features of sustainable agriculture means agricultural activity should result in meeting the needs of the population, means high quality, affordable supply of food and fiber, that is producing quality food, nutritious food, affordable supply of food and fiber. Second one is ensuring everyone nutritious, healthful, and affordable food, while ensuring a safe and secure supply of food. That is one more characteristic. And while producing food, we have to preserve open space, abundant wildlife, and other forms of biodiversity. That means while producing food, we have to minimize environmental damages like flora, fauna, and also earth resources. Then protect the natural resource base and prevent degradation of air, soil, and water quality. So these are all characteristics of sustainable agriculture. That is supplying high quality, affordable supply of food and fiber, and while ensuring nutrition food to everyone, and without causing any damage to flora, fauna, and earth resources, producing quality food, and also preventing the degradation of air, soil, and water quality. So this is what sustainable development and sustainable agriculture. The issue is whether sustainability or sustainable positive aspects are found in the economy, or some non-sustainable issues are existing in the economy. See, no doubt, when we observe the practices in agriculture, no doubt we are having some positive impact as well as negative impact, where those negative impacts are considered it as non-sustainable issues. That is what most urgent non-sustainable issues for sustainable agriculture. That is categorized into different categories, where here it is some key points are highlighted. First is related to production aspect in agriculture. In the production aspect, what we come across is in the produced food, what we found is contaminants and residues in food. Contaminants and residues, pesticide residues, chemical residues, which are commonly found in food. The food that we are consuming every day, all types, including fruits, vegetables, green leaves, both food crops, non-food crops, these are all contaminated. And also where we come across consists of more of pesticides and other chemical residues. The best example that we can quote for this is just a few days back, 36 peacocks, more than 36 peacocks in Mysore district lost their life because of consuming maize. That maize contains residues, that is pesticides. As a result, more than 36 peacock were lost their life. This is what in the newspaper that we come across, which indicates that all types of agricultural commodities are produced with chemicals only, with pesticides only. Then second one is unfavorable market conditions for agricultural production. Unfavorable market conditions. Efficiency is very low in agricultural markets. Efficiency means where farmers are not realizing better revenue for their products or better income for their products. Excessive livestock density that is found in some other countries. In India also, India is having a high number of bovine population. And second concept that is with related to natural resources, dependence on fossil energy. Dependence on fossil energy means in the agricultural sector, due to mechanization and also for water lifting purpose, we are using non-renewable energy resources like fossil fuels, petroleum, diesel, even hydroelectricity, even that thermal power. These are all used on large scale. Then low efficiency of energy use in agricultural production. The energy that we are using in agriculture is not effective. The efficiency of the energy used in agriculture is considered as low. And second, next one is lack of water and deteriorating water quality. Lack of water. No doubt India stands third place in water resources, but the available surface water is not all the available surface water is not available for different uses, where we come across scarcity of water resources. Safe drinking water is not available. Water is sold like a commodity. Water price is more or less equivalent to milk price now. So lack of water and deteriorating water quality and decrease in soil fertility. Fertility of the soil is declining because of application of more fertilizers and pesticides. And pesticide residue in soil and water, that is what common. Accumulation of heavy metals, that is zinc, etc., found in the green leaves. Even in the green leaves, what we come across is metals. Even loss of biodiversity and genetic resources, imbalance in the biodiversity. And commonly what we come across is air pollution. Air pollution, wherever we come across, whichever may be the rural area or urban area, what we come across is air pollution. In the earlier, air pollution was restricted only to urban areas. Nowadays, even in rural area, because of spraying of pesticides on large scale, has resulted in air pollution. And with related to human and animal welfare, occupational threat to farmers and consumers' health. Occupational threat to farmers, as I said, decent work. Farmers are working in agricultural field from day and night, but what they come across is they are not safe because of they are spraying pesticides without any training, and even consumers' health is also adversely affected because of using of pesticides and fertilizers on large scale. Even animal welfare is also under threat. Even there is a transmission of diseases from animal to human. These are all some issues related to human and animal welfare. And with related to socio-economic criteria, we come across poor profitability of farming. Poor profitability in India, nearly 84% of the farmers are marginal and small farmers. Sometimes they say agriculture is a profitable job. Most of the times what they feel is agriculture is not a profitable job because of uncertainties. Poor profitability, uncertainty in gaining profit in the agriculture. Then lack of food security and lack of food production security, that is one more. Then unfavorable social infrastructure in rural areas, commonly found lack of warehouses, cold storage facility, transportation, communication, even power supply. These are all inadequate. Then urbanization, growth of cities and towns resulted in loss of agricultural land because of acquisition of agricultural land for developmental purposes and lack of preservation of nature. So these are all some issues related to sustainability comes under socio-economic criteria. In addition to that, regarding expertise, what we come across is lack of education, information, and management skills. So these are all some non-sustainable issues in the agricultural sector. See, with reference to India, sustainable agriculture means, as I said, undertaking agricultural activity without damaging environment, where it has to be continued for longer generation by considering the available resources. So sustainable agriculture is a loosely defined term which involves range of strategies which addresses the problems of agriculture. So key problems are these: loss of productivity from soil erosion, loss of productivity from soil erosion. Second one is non-judicious use of agrochemicals, particularly pesticides and fertilizers. Then pollution of surface water and groundwater. Then diminishing supply of non-renewable energy sources and decreased farm income owing to low commodity prices and high production cost. See, these are the key problems in agriculture. One is soil erosion, that is low productivity of crops, mainly due to soil erosion or decline in soil fertility. Second one is excessive use or reckless use, high dose of application of pesticides and fertilizers, and scarcity of water and polluted water, and decreasing supply of non-renewable energy resources, and farm income is declining. So these are all some problems related to agriculture. This is what that we commonly found in the Indian agricultural sector. And related to the current status of agriculture in the Indian economy. See, from the time of independence till date, we say agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Agriculture is the backbone. Even when I was a student, this is what the statement. When I was a teacher, this is what the statement. Even the next generation student also say this. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. And contributing, say contribution of agriculture was around 55% during 1951. Now it has reduced to 16%, but 2025 in this financial year, it is estimated to be around 18%. Contribution to the GDP in 2025 financial year is estimated to be around 18%. And about the dependency on agriculture, earlier dependency was 72%, declined to 70, 68, 65, 60, 58 like this. At present, 46% of the Indian population relies on agriculture for their livelihood. And about the India's agri export crosses $51.9 billion in 2025. $51.9 billion in 2025, the highest ever stated by Commerce Ministry. The agricultural exports have grown by 19.92% in the financial year 22 to touch $50.2.1 billion. So this is what the current status regarding the contribution of agriculture to GDP, dependency rate on agriculture, and also related to export earnings. In the economic survey 24-25, where it is stated, agriculture remains a crucial pillar for growth and food security. Food security. Concept, we are concentrating on food security. And previous year contribution towards GDP is around 16%. And the 24-25 in this financial year, the 3.5 growth rate recorded in the second quarter of 24-25 financial year, 5% annual growth rate recorded in these years between financial year 17 to financial year 23, 5%. See, average annual growth rate of agriculture is less than 3%. When we take from first plan to 12th plan and also afterwards, average growth rate is less than 3%. But in these 6 years, 17 to 23, 5% annual growth rate, and agriculture income grew by 5.23% in this financial year. Related to production of food grain in India. See, during the time of first 5-year plan, beginning of first 5-year plan, the production of food grains was just 50.82 million tons. 50.82. There is increasing trend, and during 2021-22, a slight progress afterwards. In 2021, 22, 23 and 23-24 data says that 332.3 million tons of food grains that we have produced. So India has, during the time of independence, India was considered as deficit in food. And after Green Revolution, we say self-sufficiency. Now, not self-sufficiency, we have achieved food security, and now we are saying that India is surplus in food. So 50.2 million tons in 1950-51 to 332.3 million tons. This is what a significant increase in food grain production. How this production has increased means because of this Green Revolution. See, we all know, we are familiar with the Green Revolution. It is nothing but change in the method of production, say from transformation or a shift from traditional to new, shift from traditional method to new method of production, which were commonly adopted in developing nation between 40-60, and mainly because of agricultural research, extension work, infrastructural development, which are all supported by Rockefeller Foundation and Ford Foundation and other major agencies. These two agencies established IRRI, International Rice Research Institute in Philippines in 1960. They introduced high-yielding variety seeds, which were used in Indonesia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Latin America, Asia, and other countries of the world. But in the case of India, during the British rule, that is in 1943, India faced world's worst recorded food disaster, that is known as Bengal famine. Bengal famine, where nearly 4 million people died of hunger, that in eastern part of the India, now called it as Bangladesh. So this is what in the history of India, that is during the British rule, due to Bengal famine, nearly 4 million people died of hunger. Now we say that people are not dying because of hunger, because of food security. See, during the time of independence, our condition was ship to mouth. Ship to mouth. Ship to mouth means heavy dependency on other countries for food. Even in the reason for Bengal famine is this: shortfall in food production in the area, and Second World War resulted in allocation of the financial resources for war purpose rather than agriculture. Then hoarding of agricultural commodities by traders. Because of this, there was a severe shortage of food. This has led to a concept of food security, which was a paramount item on Free India's agenda. So as a result, we led to the Green Revolution. So first Green Revolution is applied for the period from say 1967 to 78. We know that green revolution means significant increase in the production of food grains in the mid of the 1960s. Increase in agricultural production or significant increase in food production because of using of high yielding variety seeds and chemical fertilizers. For the first instance, in 1960s, 7 states, 7 districts were selected. A popular program known as Intensive Area Development Program, IADP. First, it was limited to 7 districts of the states. Later, 144 districts were selected and IADP was renamed as IAAP, Intensive Agricultural Area Program. The person behind this is Norman Ernest Borlaug, the father of Green Revolution. Norman Ernest Borlaug, the man who saved 1 billion lives. His quote is, food is the moral right of all who are born into this world. This is what the food is the moral right of all who are born in this world. Statement made by Norman Borlaug, the father of the Green Revolution, who introduced high yielding variety of wheat, who belongs to Mexico in 1960s, who introduced high yielding variety of wheat, where various countries started to apply this high yielding variety seeds of wheat. Even in India, in the year 1966, we also started to make use of this seed, high yielding variety seed, supported by M.S. Swaminathan, father of Green Revolution in India. Father of Green Revolution in India is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. From India, led the Green Revolution as the project, supported by the then Prime Minister, late Srimati Indira Gandhi. When we look into the positive aspects of Green Revolution, it is revolutionary. Revolutionary means a sudden change in the food production, significant change in the food grain production, mainly because of new technology, new ideas, where we started to make use of yielding variety seeds, fertilizer, irrigation, pesticides. As a result, food grain production increased by 21 million tons in a single year. And the chain link of this is high yielding variety seeds are draft variety seeds, no doubt matures in a short period of time, but it requires sufficient and assured supply, where those seeds require more water, and also those seeds also require 4 to 10 times more of fertilizers than that of traditional variety. So this is how our non-sustainable issue started. Say, yielding variety seeds on the one side resulted in significant rise in production, but consumption of water has increased. Consumption of fertilizer has significantly increased. Positive aspect is no doubt increase in agricultural production. Significantly, wheat production has increased compared to other food crops, because in the food crops, only few yielding variety seeds were available during 67. As a result, the per capita net availability of food grains in India has increased, say, from 395 grams per day in 1950. It has crossed, even today it is around 506 grams in 2017. Even the data which also shows more or less the same. That means per capita availability of food has increased. Some economic benefits means income of the farmers has increased. Income of the farmers has increased and helps them to improve their living standard. Even large number of agro-based industries were started. Infrastructure has improved, transportation, communication, marketing facilities, food processing, etc. has created more employment opportunities. And there was a shift from subsistence farming to commercial farming. Now, farming means it is not a way of life. Farming means only for marketing purpose nowadays. That is what commercial. And regarding employment generation, there is an argument that green revolution afterwards, mechanization has reduced the employment opportunities. But on the other side, it is argued that green revolution has created more jobs. Green revolution has created more jobs in the agricultural sector. Say, due to establishment of agro-based industry, processing industries, and also manual works like harvesting, processing. In these, there has been increase in employment opportunity. And this is another significant advantage is this, our import bill has reduced. Now India is surplus in food. Green revolution significantly reduced the dependency rate on other countries and it has increased our valuable foreign exchange. Infrastructural development like irrigation system, roads, storage facility, etc. were significantly improved. And we are having good infrastructure compared to earlier. So these are all some positive aspects, but we are also having some negative impacts of the first green revolution, that is growth of capitalist farming, that is it has benefited only large farmers and failed to recognize the need for institutional reforms in Indian agriculture, that is land reforms were completely ignored. Then it has widened the income inequality in rural areas and labor displacement has also happened, inter-regional disparities in the development of agriculture like Punjab and Bihar you can compare, acute poisoning from the use of pesticides and only concentrated on food crops, not on commercial crops and other crops. These are all the weaknesses of first green revolution. And to overcome the limitations of the first green revolution, in the second green revolution, we have gave importance to increase the production of pulses, oil seeds, fruits, vegetables, etc., where to provide nutritional security. So on these we concentrated in the second green revolution. First green revolution consider only increase in agricultural production without considering environmental damages. But in the second green revolution, we are committed towards sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture. In the second green revolution, we keep these objectives, that is increasing agricultural productivity to promote food security, and we are focused much on biotechnology, encouraging sustainable agricultural practices, and to increase the per capita income of the farmers, and to become self-sufficient in stable food. So the second green revolution, where we have concentrated on the environmental aspects, sustainable agriculture, and also to meet the nutritional security of the people in the country. And because of these two green revolutions, what we come across is agriculture means most of the farmers are using these high yielding variety seeds because of 1961, that is the first green revolution, that is from 1960 onwards till day, farmers are using not ordinary seeds, they are using high yielding variety seeds. The area under high yielding variety seeds in 66-67 was just 1.89 million hectares. Now it has crossed 82 million hectares. And it has multiplied by more than 66 years, 60 times, it is 66 times. See, using of yielding variety seeds means, as I said earlier, which require 4 to 10 times of more of fertilizers. 4 to 10 times of more of fertilizer than that of traditional variety. So this is what we started to apply yielding variety seeds linked with more application of fertilizers. So soil erosion or decline in the fertility mainly because of this. In the soil, what we come across is primary nutrients like NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Secondary nutrients like sulfur, calcium, magnesium. Micronutrients like zinc, iron, manganese. These are the contents in the soil. But due to application of more and more fertilizers, created imbalance of nutrients in the soil, decline in water table and water quality, and over depletion of soil health. And the Ministry of Agriculture has noted that about 5.3 billion tons of soil gets eroded annually. 5.3 billion tons of soil get eroded annually because of these factors. And regarding the application of fertilizer, the recommended dose of NPK in India is 4:2:1 NPK, but in currently we are using 6.7, 2.4, 1.6 of NPK. That means using more of NPK than recommended. And there is interstate variation in the use of fertilizer. Punjab, Haryana, UP, where we come across excessive use of fertilizers. And the average fertilizer consumption in India was just half kg in 1950, 0.5 kg, say half kg per acre in 1950, increased to 7 kg during the time of first green revolution. And at present we are using 135 kg. Average is 135 kg per hectare. This is less compared to other countries like Pakistan, where we are using 205 kg, and in China we are using 396 kg per hectare. Compared to other countries, we are using less, but it is more than recommended dose. More than recommended dose. So as a result of use of excessive fertilizer, what we come across is soil degradation. And experts are of the opinion that efficiency of fertilizer use is just 35%, and remaining 65% of the nutrients are reaching underground water. See, 65% of nutrients are reaching the underground water, nitrate, phosphates, joining water bodies and polluting water. This is what the impact of high dose of fertilizers. Regarding the pesticides, we are having different types of pesticides where it is commonly used with an intention of protecting crop from pest and insect attack and also from diseases, but it is sprayed by untrained farm laborers. Pesticides were sprayed on crops usually by untrained farm laborers without following instructions. During 1950, only 100 tons of pesticides being consumed. Only 100 tons of pesticides were used in 1950, and at present, it is more than 62,000 tons of pesticides that we are applying in agricultural sector. Using of pesticides are creating health issues like cardiopulmonary, neurological, skin disorder, adverse reproductive effects, even like fetal deformities and miscarriages. Even health hazards arise through intake of foods which contains toxic residues. Even serious ecological damages such as toxic effect to fish stock, birds and wildlife. This is what the impact of application of pesticides. And in the area of irrigation, the area of irrigation. The chief source of irrigation today in Indian agriculture is tube well. Next is canal. Nearly 50% of the water is supplied from tube wells and around 23-24% from canal irrigation. That is, canals and tube wells use the flood irrigation technique. Flood irrigation technique where water is allowed to flow in the field and seep into the soil. This has resulted in wastage of water. Excess water seeps into the soil without being utilized. And in the water resources, most of the water is required for agricultural purpose only. This is what data stating the water requirements of various sectors. Irrigation for this only we are consuming more of water. By 2050, we need 807 billion cubic meter of water for agricultural purpose, 111 billion cubic meter of water for drinking and for other purpose. The total water requirement for various sectors by 2050 is 1,180 billion cubic meter. We know that water availability differs from region to region, where more than 90% of the agricultural land is irrigated in Punjab and Haryana, that is 97%. And opposite is in Jharkhand, where it is 10%. And that differs from state to state. And one more, non-sustainable issues caused by mechanization. Earlier, agriculture means done by animal labor. Now it is replaced by machineries. Annual use of a pair of animals was 1,200 to 1,800 hours in earlier. Now it come down to less than 300 to 500 hours because of using of tractors, power tillers, diesel engines, electric motors. These are used by the farmers on large scale, which are depending upon the fossil fuels. Even stubble burning. Stubble burning means burning of agricultural waste, which are also emitting greenhouse gases and causing air pollution. Especially Punjab, Haryana, UP, they contribute higher pollution level. Burning of these in those states causing pollution in Delhi. As per the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research Portal, stubble burning was estimated to contribute to the pollution level between 2% to 44% for particle matter. In Delhi, 2.5 levels in Delhi during October-November 2019. Even non-sustainable issue caused by climate change. Increase in the temperature had its impact on the yield of the crops, especially on wheat crop, rice crop, and decrease in the number of rainy days. And as per the study of the National Innovation in Climate Resilient Agriculture, it is observed that climate change is expected to affect yield of crops such as rice, wheat, and maize. Coming to the marketing issues, most of the farmers are selling their crops in APMC, and where we come across the issues like large number of intermediaries, multiplicity of charges, malpractices, lack of market information, lack of grading standardization, less producers here, lack of warehousing. These are all common marketing issues faced by the farmers. As a result, their income is less. In the price paid by the consumer, the price realized by the farmer is less than 50 paisa in a rupee. Lion share goes to middleman. This is what a research work indicating in different channel, we come across different share. The best channel for marketing by the farmer is direct marketing, which helps them to get major share of consumer rupee. So the challenges to agricultural sustainability is these three challenges. One is feeding a growing population, providing a livelihood for farmers, and protecting the environment. Feeding a growing population. providing a livelihood for farmers and protecting the environment. These must be tackled. For these, we need sustainable practices. The list of sustainable practices from the literature and also from the experts, it is listed that nearly 30 sustainable agricultural practices prevalent in India. 30. Which includes these: permaculture, organic farming, natural farming, system of rice intensification, biodynamic agriculture, like this. This is what a list of sustainable agricultural practices prevalent in India, where in these 30, 16 sustainable agricultural practices are commonly found, 6 were excluded, and 8 merged in these 16. These are all called as 30. Out of 30, 16 SAPs are there, sustainable agricultural practices. In this, we can discuss only few due to time constraint. We know about organic farming. Nowadays, there is a cry for organic farming, where it restricts the use of chemicals and fertilizers and heavily depending upon crop residues, animal residues, biopesticides for maintaining soil productivity, fertility in the agriculture sector. The data shows that 2.8 million hectare of area under certified organic farming. 1.9 million registered and certified farmers are there. We can grow millets, cereals, fruits, vegetables, etc. in this type of farming. The issue related to organic farming is where lack of market support, cumbersome certification process. The policy support to tackle the problem of organic farming is required, where most of the SAP policies towards only organic farming, where integration with state level scheme, we have to integrate this with state level scheme and policy can further support the scale up efforts. And next SAP is natural farming, zero budget natural farming. It's nothing but using of local resources in the agricultural sector, where low cost, locally sourced inputs like cow dung, cow urine, jaggery, pulse flour, etc. used. Even it includes mulch, crop covers, symbiotic intercropping, etc. Where this is largely practiced by small farmers, marginal farmers, landless and tribal farmers, where all types of crops. This is very popular in Andhra Pradesh, where nearly 6 lakh farmers are following and 6.52 lakh hectare of area under natural farming, where it is low, where it involves low input cost, and we can follow diversified cropping system, which results in increase in the income of the farmers. But unfortunately, there is no monetary support for this, where Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati Program, Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati Program BPKP under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, some monetary allocation is made and significant budgetary push is required for this. Agroforestry, growing of forestry, mixing agricultural and forestry and livestock activities. This is also another SAP, where 5 million farmer practice this. 25 million hectares of area is under agroforestry. Large farmers are the primary adopter of agroforestry in India. And one more practice is this SRI, system of rice intensification. It's a climate smart agroecological approach, where it aims at increasing the productivity of rice by changing the management of the plant, soil, water, and nutrients. SRI includes 4 principles. One is early, quick, and healthy plant establishment, reduced plant density, improved soil condition to enhancing soil organic matter, reduced and controlled water application. 4 principles of SRI for increasing the yield of the rice and other crops, where 3 million hectare area under SRI. Even small, medium landholders are adopted SRI. One more is precision farming, where it makes use of information technology to supply the required level of input to crop and soil, where it minimizes the wastage of application of inputs. It is currently practiced by medium to large progressive farmers, where 9.2 million hectares. Under precision farming, we gave importance to that is micro irrigation, where drip and sprinkler, these two widespread precision farming techniques are adopted. 3 million farmers are estimated to adopted precision farming. 28 high value commercial and horticultural crops are popular under precision farming. And one more is conservation agriculture. It's an ecosystem approach to agricultural land management based on interlinked principle, where minimum disturbance to soil through no tillage. That means no deep tillage, permanent maintenance of soil mulch by retaining crop residues, and diversification of cropping system through crop rotation and intercropping. Conservation of agriculture, this is followed by nearly 1 million farmers in 2 million hectares. And in those three techniques, only partial conservation agriculture is prevalent in India. Crop rotation, this is also another SAP. Crop rotation, that is planting 2 or more crops sequentially, one after other in the same land to improve the soil health and also to optimize the nutrients. Simple rotation means 2 or 3 crops, or complex rotation means incorporate dozen or more. Nearly 30 million hectares under crop rotation, and also crop rotation is nearly followed by 15 million farmers. Even intercropping is also another SAP, where 2 or more crops simultaneously cultivated in the same field, either in mixed row, strip, or in relay intercropping. More than 1 million hectare is under intercropping, but it is practiced by less than 1 million farmers. And cover crops, this is also another SAP. This is followed with an intention of maintaining the soil fertility, where crops planted to cover the soil rather than to be harvested. They can be rotated with other crops or intercropped and also grown in between different seasons. 1.9 million hectares under cover crops. 1.5 million farmers are practicing these cover crops. Mulching is another SAP. That is covering the soil surface with organic material or synthetic materials, where 20 million hectare is under mulching. For this, there is no specific policy. NMSA, that is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, provides 50% financial assistance for this. IPM is one more SAP. Using suitable technique and methods in a compatible manner to maintain pest populations at levels below those causing economically unacceptable damages or loss. IPM is a popular technique where 5 million hectare of area is under IPM, and 5 million farmers are estimated to practice this IPM. All types of landholders are practicing IPM. Under Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana and state programs, IPM is supported. And some important schemes initiated by the government are Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchana Yojana. You are all familiar with this, where it is aimed at efficient use of water resources. Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana related to organic farming practices and sustainable agriculture. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana related to enhancing public investment in agriculture and allied sectors which support sustainable growth and rural development. Soil Health Card Scheme regarding providing information about soil nutrient status and helps the farmers in applying the recommended doses of fertilizer to their land. NMSA, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, which promotes climate resilient and sustainable farming practices. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which protects farmers from loss of crop due to natural factors. ENAM, Electronic National Agriculture Marketing Online Trading, was introduced by the government to ensure better price realization. Kisan Credit Card Scheme helps the farmers to purchase inputs. Rishi Vijnana Kendras, these offers extension services, training centers, training facilities, and knowledge dissemination to farmers. Agriculture export policy to boost the exports, it is useful. Sustainable farming practices and organic certification incentives. This encourages farmers to adopt eco-friendly practices in agriculture. Even organic certification helps the farmers to marketing their produce. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. This is what financial support given to small and marginal farmers. Promotion of agro processing industry helps the farmers to undertake value addition activities. National Mission on Oil Seeds and Oil Palm to boost the production of oil and to reduce import dependency, and for animal welfare, animal husbandry infrastructure development fund. These are all some key initiatives introduced by the government. But in India, sustainable practices means some large farmers, marginal farmers are practicing some types of sustainable practices. So 84% of the farmers in India are marginal and small farmers, having less than 5 acres, 2.5 acres. Average size of the land is less than 2 acres in India. See here, there is a need of both central and state government policy support related to preventing soil erosion, use of recommended dose of fertilizers in the agriculture, and also reducing the spray of pesticides, and implementing micro irrigation system, and also ensuring better prices to the farmers, which helps the farmers not only in leading a decent standard and better income, but also sustainable agriculture. In conclusion, future agricultural growth and productivity will have to occur simultaneously with environmental sustainability. The environmental challenges, especially in terms of land degradation and groundwater depletion, water lagging, excessive use of chemical inputs are posing problems for the future Indian agriculture. To address the problems, policies have laid emphasis on promoting sustainable agriculture.